Got the Cowboys and the Giants tomorrow, man. 1 o'clock here in good old Jerry Land, man. I'm excited. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about some injury news. Is there a quarterback controversy going on in New York? The question to that could be answered literally tomorrow. And a little bit of something extra. All right, let's talk about it here right now on Cowboy Spit.
Here we go! Yeah, here we go! Wait, take Cowboys Spit.
Throws back of the end zone. There's
What's going on, everybody? Cowboys C3, Cowboys versus Giants tomorrow. Divisional game again for the Cowboys. That's 2 in a row. A lot of people have been asking this week, is this a must-win game? I don't think so. I don't think it's a must-win game, but I do not like the fact that you have the possibility, if you do lose, you will start the division out 0-2. And that's not a good thing. But the Giants come in, they're hungry for a win. They looked very lackluster, unimpressive, all of the above on Saturday night. What's going on, man? Down. Man, man down. You watching this fight tonight? I know you're not a big fight fan, but this is a big one. Huge fight. I know that a lot of people are watching this fight. I know they are, and we'll talk about the fight at the end of the show. But because I'm really looking forward to this fight. I think this has the capability to go down in the history books, and it also has the capability to be a boring ass fight too. It's kind of a weird matchup, but anyway, Cowboys versus Giants tomorrow. We'll talk about that at the end of the show. Cowboys versus Giants tomorrow, 1 o'clock, AT&T. Let's look at the lines. Game will be on Fox. Spread in favor of the Cowboys are a 5.5 point favorite. And the total is 44.5 points. That's kind of a high total for this game, I believe. I wasn't very impressed with the Giants in the way their offense looked last week, but I also know that Green Bay's defense is like that. They are very good, and with the addition of Micah Parsons, it makes them that much better. That kind of hurt my feelings to say that. But Green Bay's a very good football team. We'll see how good they are here in a couple of weeks. But first thing at hand, Giants offensively, Russell Wilson looked very uncomfortable in the pocket. They did not run the ball well. Tyrone Tracy did not have a good game at all. Malik Neighbors did Malik Neighbor-ish things during the game, but Russell Wilson was under extreme duress the entire game against Green Bay, and he didn't look very good. So they travel here into Dallas. They're going to be desperate for a win. I believe that Russell Wilson might be desperate to keep his job, right? And that's just what it is. Right after the game, Brian Dable came out and said that he didn't know who his starting quarterback was going to be, and then later on in the week he said, we're going with Russ. But Russ is fighting for his job, so Russ needs a big game. And when people do that, when people are put in those type of situations, all right, man, man, down. Boy, I'm proud of you. Got to watch this one. This is gonna be a big fight. When quarterbacks are put in this type of situation, any player in general, fighting for their job, they tend to come out and play well. At least they tend to come out and start hot. And the Cowboys are gonna have to withstand that. But if you can make him uncomfortable, he showed you that he will run around, and try to be mobile. And Russ just isn't that mobile anymore. Now he's shifty now. Don't get it twisted. He can make things happen with his feet. But they're not going to make a living, with Russell Wilson running the ball 12, 14 times a game because he's running from the rush. He said if the Cowboys lose to New York, they ass. Now, I don't disagree with your statement. That would be a really, really bad thing. You can't lose to New York. And that's why people have asked the question, is this a must-win game? But like I said, I don't think it is. I think it's just the next game up. I think it's time to kind of solidify yourself as a football team. You did some very, very, very good things against Philadelphia, but you came out and you came out short on the scoreboard part of it. Um, you need to build on that, and we'll talk about this stuff here in a minute. But you need to build on that more. We'll talk about it more in a minute. We need to build on what you did in the last game and make it to where the scoreboard reads in your favor at the end of the game. That's the bottom line. Um, the Giants have a fairly decent roster. They're not terrible, but they're not fantastic either. Russell Wilson will be your quarterback tomorrow. Tyrone Tracy Jr. will be the running back. All world Malik Neighbors will be the wide receiver that you absolutely have to watch out for. It's a question whether Wan'Dale Robinson will play. I was a little afraid of Wan'Dale Robinson, particularly dealing with what the Cowboys are going to deal with at their at their nickel cornerback slot. It's nickel cornerback spot with Deron Bland being out for this week. And we'll talk about that in just a second as well. And Darius Slayton, and Theo Johnson. Offensive line, pretty decent. Their defense, of course, is led by all-world defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence III and Kayvon Thibodeau. We will see. Brian Burns played a really good game last week, and Abdul Carter came in. He hasn't made very much noise yet, but we all know what Abdul Carter is capable of doing. He's got the potential to be great. You know what I mean? But definitely don't want him great this week against the Cowboys. Cowboys are going to start, Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, CD Lambs, George Pickens. Talk about George in a minute. Jalen Tolbert did not have a good first game at all. And, hopefully if when given the opportunity this week, hopefully he can right that ship. A lot of people calling for Ryan Flanoy to get some playing time in and see what he can do. Tolbert got caught in a lot of situations last week where he could have been blocking for runs particularly there was one screen pass to CD Lamb where he just kind of stood there and watched CD Lamb kind of, get gang tackled. And it didn't look good, right? It didn't look good at all. And his effort has been questioned throughout the week. I don't think his effort is really that, terrible. I just think sometimes he gets a little lost in the sauce sometimes. Dak played really good. He may have turned the corner. I think that Dak turned the corner. I think that Dak Prescott is a very good quarterback, in the National Football League. I think that he is, a top 10 quarterback in the National Football League when healthy, right around that 8 to 10 little area, right? Dak does some things very well. Dak also tends to brain fart, especially in big game situations. But then again, the team tends to brain fart in these big game situations. Last week, that was not the case. Dak played extremely well, put a lot of balls on the money. But the Cowboys as a football team are going to have to learn to put together complete football games in every situation. Now, it would not surprise me at all these next 2 weeks for the Cowboys to come out and look like they are one of the top tier teams in the NFL. The test for them, I believe, and not saying that I'm overlooking any team in the NFL, and neither the Cowboys definitely shouldn't be looking over any football team in the NFL because all of them are full of really, really good football players, right? You got Green Bay coming into town here in a couple of weeks, and they look like they're probably the best team in the NFL. Now you put together a complete game against them and the pressure that they apply to quarterbacks in general, right? Then we can start talking about turning the corner. But until that happens, and I'm talking about you need to go out and put these things on these Giants. You need to go out and beat the hell out of the Bears too. And then you need to you need to come back home and face a red hot Green Bay team that has a player on their team that is absolutely ready to bury Dak into the ground. Dak does not have a red jersey anymore for Micah Parsons. He is free game. And Micah Parsons has been showing his ass in these last two games that he's played in. And I know that he'll be 100% ready. Hopefully he's healthy. Hopefully everybody's healthy and we get a solid football game. I hope so. But that's in the future. You know what I mean? Talk about the game that's this week right now, and the Cowboys have a very big task at hand. We'll go to their injury roster. We'll go to their injury list first. Deron Bland will not play this week due to a foot injury. It is not the right foot, the foot that had the stress fracture in it last year that cost him 10 games. It's the left foot. And sources say that he got his foot stepped on in practice and it swelled up and he won't be available this week. This is what Coach Schottenheimer had to say about it.
I'm trying.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. What is the playing status of Deron Bland?
Yeah, I think Deron will miss this week. Again, I'm not going to put a timetable on it, and he'll get back as soon as he can, but we will be without him this week.
What's the plan to replace him? And also, you have some other things to do on the nickel. What do you do with those two things?
Yeah, again, the beautiful thing about Deron is the flexibility that he gives you, Calvin. I mean, just the ability to play inside, outside, all that stuff. So we've got some different packages that we're going to use. We've used the safety down there some. We can play a little bit more base defense, but also, you're going to see Reddy Stewart play a lot of football. And this is why you make those moves. When you get to final cuts and you cut the roster down, you see a player that you like, that you haven't been around, and you make those moves. That's kind of why you do it. And the benefit for him is he knows Flus's system. And what we love about him going all the way back to his days in college is his ability to take the ball away. I think it was 12. Might check me on that, 12 interceptions or something like that in college. And so he'll get quite a bit of action.
I know that this is the business you're in, but it's frustrating a little bit that you haven't really had all your pieces on defense, like even going back to Micah, and now you lose Bland in week 2.
Yeah, you don't think of it that way. You just adjust and adapt, and it's the nature of the business. And, we all have to deal with it at different times of the season. And we've talked about there's help on the way. But, again, I'm very confident in Reddy and the guys that we have, and the plan is a good plan. We have to go out and execute it. And but, yeah, injuries are part of the game. You hate to see them happen. And when they do, though, it's supporting the player to get them back as soon as you can, which Deron will do.
So Reddy Stewart will be your nickel corner, seems like this week, which it gives other players an opportunity to play. And if you're gonna do that, he was asked later on in the interview, if you're gonna do that, that would mean that Trayvon Diggs, who played a lot in the slot last week, needs to be ready to play more snaps. And will he be able to play more snaps? And I thought that was an excellent question. And Brian Schottenheimer came back and said, we had Trayvon on a pitch count. We've known Trayvon was going to be on a pitch count. He exceeded expectations while on that pitch count. And we'll see by the end of the week in practice, which this interview was Friday before the last practice, will he be ready to go? Expect Trayvon Diggs to play a lot more. Expect him to be on Malik Neighbors, that's a tough task. That's a really tough task for any cornerback, and 100% healthy cornerback. Malik Neighbors has an excellent skill set that is hard to handle. Trayvon Diggs, at whatever percentage of health that he is right now, is going to have his hands full. Even if Trayvon Diggs was 100% healthy right now, he'd have his hands full. It's going to be a chess match for Matt Eberflus to see how he is going to handle not only Malik Neighbors, but a hungry Russell Wilson that's fighting for his job. It's going to be a tough matchup. It's going to be tricky, but we'll see how that all works out tomorrow. So the Giants have a great line, but no secondary and no offense. The game is going to show a lot about the Cowboys. They not only need to win, but they need to control and dominate the scoreboard. Agreed. As a Giants fan, we're getting blown out tomorrow. I hope you're right, man. I hope you're right. But one thing about me And Larry just commented on here, and you're stealing my thunder tonight. You're stealing my thunder tonight, Larry. Larry said, "Want to see the O line and the D line dominate the line of scrimmage and give me hope that they can run the ball, especially against the top 7 Giants defensive line." Just give me a second there. We'll talk about that in just a minute. I'm interested to see how the Cowboys apply pressure to Russell Wilson. Last week, I know the Eagles have a really, really good offensive line, but Eberflus was able to make some adjustments to the defense and provide pressure midway through the third quarter. After the second halftime, the Cowboys were able to apply pressure to Jalen Hurts, and they forced a couple of sacks. That's something that they're going to have to do from the very beginning of this football game. They're going to have to be able to apply pressure to Russell Wilson, get him off his mark, make him uncomfortable, make him make some tough throws to Malik Neighbors, and slow that down. I'm also interested to see how the Cowboys defensive line plays, particularly stopping the run. I'm a big Cam Scatterboo fan. And Cam came in the last game against Washington and provided a little bit of excitement. Running over players, doing things like that. Now, he only rushed for like 8 yards, you know what I mean? But it was some Cam Scatterboo moments in there. And I would hate for him to take fire tomorrow. I'm hoping, and Larry commented on it as well, I'm hoping that the Cowboys do not play down to the level of their opponent tomorrow. I'm hoping that by the end of the game, that 42.5 points or whatever the point spread is, that a lot of that is with the Cowboys, right? A whole lot of it. And we're looking at a game where they dominated. And that's what needs to happen tomorrow. But we'll talk about that in the keys to victory, more about it. Man Down Sports said Dak is stuck in the above average to good quarterback level and needs to step up to the great level. So Dak has had great moments, right? Dak has had a lot of great moments, and Dak has had a lot of mediocre moments, which puts him right there in that good category, right? Dak needs to have big moments in games where he's supposed to have big moments, which like tomorrow, he's supposed to have big moments in the games, tomorrow. But you need to see Dak have great moments in games like that are coming up against Green Bay. Or I thought that he played very well against Philadelphia, but the great moments didn't happen because the opportunity wasn't given to him because of some drop passes. And that's okay. You did your part, right? You did what you were supposed to do. It all needs to come together. And this is one of those games where you work towards it coming together. You've got a big game coming up in here in a few weeks. You got Washington right after that. You go through another period of games where you're supposed to win those football games. And then you get a bye week around week 10. And then after that, you go through the gauntlet of this season. And by the time that needs to be happening, by the time that portion of the season happens, the Cowboys need to have gelled. They need to be in full stride. They need to be working on all cylinders. A lot of that depends on, for one, them being healthy, right? Because the Cowboys have been hit by the injury bug a lot. But, it seems like, hopefully this injury to Deron Bland is not very serious and you get him back. You got a lot of players towards the middle of the season that'll come back. You'll get Overshown back. You'll get Siobhan Revelle, your rookie corner from East Carolina. You'll get him around that time period as well. And things should start to really take place for him. If you are going to contend, though, especially in the NFC, and the NFC looks really tough this year, you're going to have to win some big ball games. And the quarterback is going to have to put them in position sometimes to win those types of games. I don't think that the issue with the Cowboys will be a lack of coaching. Schottenheimer seems like he called a really, really good game Thursday night. And if he can keep that going, the Cowboys should be pretty dangerous. They should be. But, only time will tell with that. With the Giants injury report, Wan'Dale Robinson has an ankle injury. He's been limited in participation, questionable for the game. Andrew Thomas, their tackle, has a foot injury, limited participation. He's doubtful for the game. And Malik Neighbors had a back, but he's a full participant all week. It seemed like another one down here, Darius Slayton, with the groin injury. He was limited in practice all week, but we'll see how that goes too. Cowboys, not only with Deron Bland being out, Wanye Thomas had a non-football thing going on all week. He was a full participant in practice. He should be ready to go. And Malik Hooker, with his foot, was limited participant. Excuse me, that was hard to come out. Wednesday and Thursday. On Friday, he was a full participant, so he should be ready to go as well. So the Cowboys, other than Deron Bland, they look like they're okay. That's a big hit in the secondary, especially with the secondary that's kind of undermanned, if you will, as well. Anyway, look for Kyer Elam to follow around Malik Neighbors some as well. Kyer Elam played extremely well in training camp. He got beat for a deep pass last week, but other than that deep pass to Jahan Dotson had 3 catches for 54 yards, and 51 of those yards came on 1 catch. So he played well, other than getting caught looking in at Jalen Hurts and got beat over the top. Had excellent recovery speed, caught up to Jahan Dotson real quick and made the tackle. Didn't get very much yet. He played well. Malik Neighbors poses a problem. I'm telling you. So Dak has dominated the Giants throughout his career. See no reason why that will not happen tomorrow. He also needs to keep Pickens engaged early and often. Lamb will always be open. Well, with that being said, Larry, let's go to the Cowboy keys to victory. My first key to victory offensively is run the damn ball. Get your running backs involved early. I am hoping, and I've looked at all the inactive lists so far tonight. I have not seen his name. I'm hoping that Jaden Blue gets an opportunity to play tomorrow. He provides an electric spark to the offense. He has the ability to provide an electric. We haven't seen him do anything yet other than the preseason. He has the ability to provide an electric spark to an offense that kind of lacks electricity in the run game. Don't get me wrong. I was a big fan of what happened, of the way they ran the ball last week, but it was hard-nosed, 4 yards, cloud of dust type of stuff with Javonte Williams. Miles Sanders had a big run and then came back and fumbled, and you didn't really see him too much after that. Jaden Blue has the ability to provide you electricity coming out of the backfield, and I'm really looking forward to seeing that, and I hope he gets an opportunity to do it tomorrow. This is the perfect opportunity for him to have a chance to do it. It's a divisional game. It's against an opponent with a really good defensive line. If you can get past that defensive line, you can really make some things happen. And if the Cowboys can run the ball well tomorrow, control the line of scrimmage on offense, I think that they'll be just fine. My second key to victory on the offense is to get George Pickens involved. George had 3 catches last week. Dak didn't really target him that much. I think he only targeted him 4 times. Get him involved early and keep him involved often. CD Lamb absolutely will be open all game long tomorrow. That's not a question. That defensive line is going to be on deck, though, and I'm hoping that the offensive line can hold up. Get George involved. And number 3, Dak needs to throw 3 touchdowns. Tomorrow, he needs to throw 3 touchdowns. I say that because you need to build. I understand once you get inside the red zone, you can run the ball and get in the end zone. They did it last week against Philly, and I was really, really, really happy that they did it. But I want to see some plays downfield. I want to see Dak throw the ball downfield, see some completions, and get into the end zone just to build confidence for these weeks coming up. I'm really looking forward to that tomorrow as well. Defensively, control the line of scrimmage. That's the first thing. Don't let them run on you at all. Eagles did not run the ball very well last week. Continue that moving forward this week. Second thing is apply pressure to Russell Wilson. If you can knock Russell off his mark, this should be a pretty, I won't say simple game, but this should be a very controllable game if you can keep Russ off of his mark. And the third thing defensively is control Malik Neighbors to the best of your ability. Keep him in front of you. Don't let him get behind you. Don't let Russ throw big arcing passes in the air and give Malik Neighbors an opportunity to run up underneath one. You need to keep Malik Neighbors in front of you. If they can do those things offensively and defensively, I think the Cowboys will be just fine. My prediction for the game tomorrow, Cowboys 24, Giants 10. I think it'll be a game where the Cowboys will come in. They'll dominate offensively and defensively. Javonte Williams will have a big game. I think George Pickens will have a big game. And I also think that they'll sneak a little Kavontae Turpin in there and he'll be all right too. He'll have a big game. I look forward to Donovan Ezeraku tomorrow getting a couple of sacks. Sam Williams maybe getting a sack and things just start to take place for this defense, particularly in applying pressure to the quarterback. It didn't look good last week. I didn't like the comment on Twitter that said that all this team was missing was an elite pass rusher to be a contender. These pass rushers need to step up, apply some pressure, and let's start to kind of back away from this whole Micah Parsons thing. I know it's big. I know that it's a it's a sore subject for a lot of people here, especially for Cowboy fans. But it's over with. Micah Parsons is gone. He plays for the Green Bay Packers. He's looking really good with the Green Bay Packers, and he seems to be happy. And I'm getting tired of them chants of thank you, Jerry, too. Everybody knows Jerry messed this up, but it's all good, man. It's in the past. Anyway, this is what your quarterback had to say about the game tomorrow. 16 Maybe I didn't get that one. But anyway, he said that they look forward to tomorrow. They look forward to having a big game. Basic Dak Prescott, all-world motivational speak. He got asked a kind of a crazy question about Jalen Carter. Was he happy with the suspension? With Jalen Carter's not being suspended? And he was like, "What? Like, I don't care about that. You know what I mean? I don't care about that at all." But yeah, it's just one of those things. They should have signed Clowney. His bread and butter has always been setting the edge and playing the run. Now, with Clowney coming in to visit, reports have said that the Cowboys were absolutely ready to sign Jadeveon Clowney. Absolutely ready. It was Jadeveon Clowney that decided that he wasn't ready to play yet. He kind of wanted to explore his options, which means that, or which tells me that he's got some options. It's not just the Cowboys that are looking at him, and that's okay for him. I think that he'll double back and sign here in a couple of weeks. I hope so anyway, because Jadeveon Clowney absolutely plays the run well, for one, and he definitely sets the edge. One thing that I harped on it, especially in the post game after the last game against Philly, was I don't like the way the defensive ends crash inside with a mobile quarterback and allow him to go outside. One thing about Jadeveon Clowney is that he will set an edge, he will contain a quarterback, a mobile quarterback, and he absolutely will contain a running back. So if given the opportunity, I would hope that the Cowboys can get him signed, and that would be great. Another thing that happened today is Tyler Smith signed his contract extension, and that is phenomenal. And the crazy part about it to me is a 4-year, $96 million extension. The crazy part about it to me is like Jerry, all of a sudden, man, he getting these contracts out the way. He ain't letting these players hit free agency because lesson learned, and it's about damn time. You get these contracts, man, you get them over with. Get them signed now before some tackle, some guard this year has an all-world season. He's up for a contract, and he signs like $140 million contract. And Tyler Smith is a perennial Pro Bowler, all-pro type of player, and then you got to sign him for $150 million. Get it out the way early in the season, so that way you don't even have to deal with this shit in the offseason. So lesson learned. Good job, Jerry. Way to sign the contract. Now, been asked about this a lot. Canelo, Crawford tonight, be later on tonight. right now on the screen, we got A&M and Notre Dame, which is turning into a really good football game. 24-21 Notre Dame with 5:32 left in before the half. I've been asked a lot what I thought about this Canelo Crawford fight. And the best answer that I can give you is that my heart says Crawford, but my brain says Canelo. That's the best that I can give you. I watched Crawford fight Madrimov at 154. It was not impressive. It was probably the hardest fight of his career, and he got stung a couple times, and he had to get away. You know what I mean? And Canelo is one of those type of people that he weighed in at 168 yesterday. He's gonna come in tonight, fight night, about 180, 185. Crawford weighed in at 167.5. He'll probably come in tonight at about 170. There's going to be a size difference. Canelo has a lot of power. He's got good footwork. Crawford is quicker. The IQ, Crawford has an excellent boxing IQ, but I also think that Canelo has an excellent boxing IQ as well. Canelo has been in a whole lot of fights like this. Canelo tends to fight the best of the best. And this is Crawford's probably his second really big fight other than Earl Spence. He passed that Earl Spence test tremendously well. It won't be like Earl Spence tonight at all. I'm just hoping that his game plan, whatever he has planned, and him and his training staff seem to think that they have the absolute blueprint to beat Canelo. All of that changes when you get popped in the mouth, and Canelo is absolutely going to pop him in his mouth. I think if Crawford can withstand the storm and get in the later rounds, he has an excellent opportunity. But if it comes down to a decision, you're not finna decision Canelo unless you just absolutely dominate him. And we haven't seen him get dominated since he fought Floyd Mayweather. Now, Bivol did beat him. He did have some successes against Bivol, but he went up 2 weight classes to fight Bivol, and it didn't turn out well for him. Crawford is doing the same thing tonight. Canelo dared to be great, went up 2 weight classes, caught Bivol. It didn't work out for him. Crawford is daring to be great tonight. He's going up to fight 2 weight classes to fight Canelo, and maybe he can turn the tide. You know what I mean? Maybe he can. If there's anybody, a smaller fighter, that can come up 2 weight classes and beat a all-world perennial boxer in Canelo Alvarez, is Terrence Crawford. Will he do it, though? Will he do it tonight? I don't think so. I think Canelo will win by decision. And, it'll be one of those fights to where it may be good for the first couple of rounds and Canelo catch him with something. And then I don't think he'll knock him down, but I think Crawford will be very cautious in his exchanges after that. One thing about Crawford, he does not mind exchanging with anybody. He will stand in the pocket and exchange with you a lot, and that could be very, very dangerous against Canelo Alvarez. Very dangerous. Yeah, I think that this is one of those things where I kind of think about it as like in the UFC when Israel Adesanya moved up to light heavyweight to fight I cannot remember his name, the dude that wears the ponytail on the top of his head when he fights. Anybody in the live knows who I'm talking about. Put his name in there. But he dared to be great and it didn't work out for him. But then he went down and continued doing what he was doing. But we'll see. So Canelo has a great chin and sits on all his punches, but he can't take rounds off like he normally does. Longer in the fight, the better for Crawford. Crawford needs to establish his respect early. Agreed, Larry. I agree with that 100%. The thing about it is, though, is that I know Canelo has been hit by people that possess the equal power or more power than Crawford. I don't think Crawford has been hit by anybody that punches like Canelo. And that is what I'm interested in seeing is once you eat one, right, how you respond to it when you eat it. I know that Canelo has a great chin, but I don't think Crawford's chin has ever truly been tested. He said the hardest punch that he's ever taken is from Yorkiois Gamboa. And that was at 140 pounds. So we'll see. I don't know. I just remember the last fight at 154 versus Madrimov, and I remember Crawford doing this thing, and I remember Madrimov catching with a punch, and it made Crawford completely stop. Now he turned it right back on in the next round, but it made he looked like whoa, like he didn't like that a lot at all. It changed his whole facial expression. And Canelo punches like a truck, and but we'll see. Just got to be cautious. I still think it'll be a great fight. I think Crawford's ring IQ in general will keep him away from punches like that, hopefully throughout the night. But it's Canelo Alvarez. He has a distinct way of landing a punch when he wants to. So we'll see. Should be an interesting fight. But anyway, that's my show. I'll be back tomorrow for the Blitz before the Cowboy game, and then right after the Cowboy game, I'll be live, and hopefully we'll be talking about this Cowboy victory, man. I think that they pulled this one off. I really don't think it'll be too difficult for them as long as they watch Cowboy spit tonight and carry out them keys of victory, man. They should be good. They should be more than good. But anyway, man, that's my show. I will see you guys tomorrow, man. Look forward to seeing all of you. We'll talk about the Cowboy victory. We'll talk about this fight some more too. And, it should be a great day tomorrow. All right, y'all. Cowboy C3, man. Thank you guys for tuning in. If you haven't done already, please like and subscribe. I appreciate each and every one of you, man. Thank you very much. Subscriber list is growing, man. Let's keep it going. Let's keep it moving up. All right. You guys have a great night. Cowboy C3, I'm out, y'all. Peace.